In this problem, we were told how many grams of protein and fat are in one serving of soybeans and also for one serving of rice. I put it all together into a little table to make it easier to see. And we're asked how many servings of soybeans and rice, how many servings of each do we need if we want to end up with exactly 20 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat? Well, as usual, we want to make letters, variables that stand for the things we're trying to solve for. So let's let S equal the number of servings of soybeans, and let's let R equal the number of servings of rice. Those are what they're asking us for, so there we have variables to stand for that. So we're going to have one equation that describes how much protein you get if you eat S servings of soybeans and R servings of rice. How much protein is that? Well, in each serving of soybeans there's 14 grams of protein, so 14 times S, 14 grams of protein per serving times S servings of soybeans. Then we'll also have some protein from the rice, and it's 4 grams of protein per serving of rice, so it's 4 per serving times the number of servings, and that's how much protein you get from eating R servings of rice. The total amount of protein that we want is 20 grams, so this has to add up to 20. That's our first equation. Now we make another equation describing how much fat you get from S servings of soybeans and also R servings of rice. So the fat, there's 8 grams of fat in each serving of the soybeans, so 8 times S is how much fat are in S servings. Now, rice is only half a gram of fat per serving, so 1/2 a gram of fat times the number of servings of rice, and the total amount of fat we want to be 10 grams. So the first equation describes how much protein, the second describes how much fat is in S servings of soybeans combined with R servings of rice. Now, the first thing I want to do is to make the numbers a little smaller. Every number is divisible by 2, so let's divide everything by 2 just to make the numbers easier to work with. We also would rather not have a half sitting here, so I'm going to multiply the second equation times 2 to get rid of the fraction. What we end up with then is 7S plus 2R equals 10. And the second equation, we're multiplying times 2, so we have 16S plus 2 times a half equals 1, so just plus R is equal to 20. And it looks like the easiest variable to eliminate is going to be the R. If we multiply the second equation times 2 again, we end up with 32S plus, let's multiply times a negative 2 times a negative 2 because we want it to cancel out with the 2 above. Then we end up with negative 32S and negative 2R, and that's equal to negative 40. Negative 2 times 20 is negative 40. The first equation we simply bring straight over, so we have 7 S's plus 2 R's, so the R's will cancel out when we add the equation, equals 10. Adding these two equations, we end up with negative 32 S's plus 7 S's. That's negative, let's see, 32, so that's negative 25 S's. The R's cancel out. Minus 40 plus 10 is negative 30. And if we divide both sides by negative 25, we end up with S, the number of servings of soybeans, equals, well, the negatives cancel out, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 5 goes into 36 times, and 5 goes into 25 5 times. So 6/5 of a serving of soybeans would be required here. And now to find out what R is, we can go back to any of the earlier equations. This will be the easiest one to use to find R because there's just a R by itself right there. If we put all of this together, we get 16 times S, but S is 6/5, plus R equals 20. Now 16 times 6 is 96. So this is 96/5 plus R equals 20. And if I take away 96/5 from both sides, we get that R equals, well, 20 times 5 is 100, so this ends up being 100/5 minus 96/5 leaves 4/5. So we've got 4/5 of a serving of rice combined with 6/5 of a serving of soybeans, and we should end up with then exactly 20 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat.